All right, me boyo.
The thing is that we're doing the finale of the Leprechaun series today,
Well, we're
boyo.
not really, Henry.
But the
Um,
thing is we couldn't find the last one.
yeah, we couldn't, and so we're doing one more Leprechaun. It's a film actually taking place in Ireland.
That's true for
You
the first time.
you think we would have hit Ireland before space, but apparently not.
I would have thought we would have hit the county of Kerry before we would have hit the county of the moon, but apparently we weren't. Uh,
Yeah, so here's the deal, gang. We are covering Leprechaun Origins today, which is the 7th out of 8 Leprechaun movies that we are beholden to cover. The 8th one, Leprechaun Returns, hey, we'll cover it somewhere down the line. Maybe as a bonus episode, maybe as part of a regular episode. We'll find out.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, it's Leprechaun Origins, and then we're starting a new franchise. And I was going to save it as a surprise, but I want to put it in the title of the episode because it'll get people to listen. So I'll just say it now. Hey, we're going to start Men in Black.
Men in Black, MIB.
MIB. Here they come. Henry,
Yeah.
that song, before we get to Leprechaun,
Sure.
that
Yeah.
song's perfect.
It's a good song.
It's one of the
It's,
greatest songs ever written.
Whoa. Well, yeah, it's a remake of a very good song. So
What is it? What is it,
it's,
sampling something?
Yeah, of course. You
What?
didn't know that?
No, I didn't. What is it sampling?
I think it samples a song called "Forget Me Not."
Here
almost
comes
identical.
Forget Me Not.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Don't ever forget me.
Those are the lyrics.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I love it. What a great...
Good song.
I love the genre of songs that, in very specific detail, tells you what happened in the movie.
Yes.
Because I remembered Here Comes the Men in Black Galaxy Defenders, but you don't remember stuff like, hey, we hold up a thing, and then you can't remember stuff. Like it's very specific. We work in New York, and we wear Ray-Bans.
Oh, does he say? He does not say that.
I don't know. It's very specific, though. Like, there's literally, like, lines in that movie, like, we found a bug, and now we gotta fight it.
Yeah. You're right. It's it's kind of in the vein of who was it? Run DMC doing one of the Freddy movies.
It was the Fat Boys, but yes.
The Fat Boys. Yeah.
Mhm.
Jesus. Yeah. Oh yeah. The song called "Forget Me Nots" by Patrice Rushen.
Who's that?
American jazz pianist.
Well, I'll
R&B
tell you
singer.
what, this American jazz pianist will be dead and gone forever, and no one will remember them. But Will
Hey,
Smith.
It won a Grammy Award in
Well,
1982.
I don't care. Will Smith will be remembered forever, Henry.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, this should have been nominated for an Oscar, by the way.
What, the song?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that. Why
This
not?
would have been opposite My Heart Will Go On. You're telling me the Oscars... See, the Oscars are obsessed with ratings now. They would nominate this today because they'd
Yeah.
want Will Smith to get up on stage and perform.
It's true, but back then, 22 years ago, 21 years ago, I would imagine. Yeah, they don't care. She was the shit.
No, well, she was always going to win. I don't remember who she was nominated. Oh, yes, I do remember who she was nominated against. That was the year fucking Elliott Smith performed at the Oscars.
Right. The Good Will Hunting song, right?
Yeah, Miss Misery.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he lost. No
Miss
big
Misery's
deal.
Miss Misery's a better song.
Miss Misery's
than
a fucking masterpiece, Henry.
I agree.
All right, before we get into the Man in Black, let's talk about Leprechaun Origins.
I'd like to just point out this is episode 146.
Did we say our names?
To my left is Daniel C. Ehrenberg.
Daniel C. Ehrenberg, the D Train, over here in beautiful Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, New York City, New York, America. The planet Earth.
Okay.
Welcome to Earth.
Welcome to Earth. Down here in South Jersey by the beautiful beaches and the redneck people is Henry A. Papale.
Well, get ready for some rednecks, and I'm talking about claws scraping at necks.
And no limericks or rhymes.
No, listen, it's very weird. Obviously, this is the first Leprechaun movie without Warwick Davis's presence.
Right.
Warwick is not involved here. And so we have a new Leprechaun, and I was very excited for this because our new Leprechaun is WWE dwarf wrestler Hornswoggle. But he's not given anything to do in this movie because they just make the Leprechaun sort of like a demon mongrel kind of a thing.
Yeah, I found it kind of strange that they even cast anybody in it. Because it could have really just been like a puppet or something. I mean, you don't...
Must have been a marketing gimmick. Look, it's WWE films. And WWE films, what they do is like they spend no money to promote shit except when you watch wrestling programs, you know, if you're like tuning into Raw or SmackDown, Henry.
Sure.
Every 5 seconds, the announcers will be like, oh, and by the way, check out The Marine 6 starring The Miz. And available now to stream.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they must have been promoting this, and so that's a way to promote it on WWE programming. They were probably saying, like, hey, WWE Films putting out Leprechaun Origins. You love those Leprechaun movies. And guess who the new Leprechaun movie is, Michael Cole? It's Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll be hornswoggled.
All right. Now, Henry, do you know anything about Hornswoggle?
Not a thing, nor did I look him up because I wanted to hear it right from you.
I'm so excited to tell you about him.
I know.
I'll tell you what. Hornswoggle is a dwarf wrestler that really was around in wrestling for many years. He had like an important character. He was regularly showing up on pay-per-view.
Okay.
All right. So a bunch of years ago, I mean, this is like mid-2000s probably.
All right.
Maybe mid to late. They had a wrestler named Fit Finlay. Okay.
Oh, all right.
And he was an older fella, and he was an Irish wrestler. So obviously his gimmick was, I'm an Irishman.
Right.
His gimmick really was like he's a brawler. So like, you know, I can wrestle, but where I learned to fight was in the pub. Down the pub.
Like an Irish gypsy, like in Snatch.
Yeah, I guess. And so Fit Finlay, he had a best friend who was a leprechaun.
Okay.
Named Hornswoggle.
Oh.
And Hornswoggle, Henry, lived under the ring.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Wow.
It didn't matter which stadium or arena they were in. Hornswoggle would just be under the ring. And so what he would do was when Finlay was getting his ass kicked in the middle of his matches, Hornswoggle would pop up from the bottom of the ring.
Wow.
And just interfere in the match.
Right.
And so Finlay could win.
Was he like one of those guys like Jimmy the Mouth of the South where like all he could really do when he interfered was like grab on desperately to somebody's leg and try to distract them?
Well, that is pretty much what he would like have a cane, you know, and he would like whack you in the leg with it.
All right, there you go.
Yeah. And so
a lot of biting.
A lot of that, yes, absolutely. And so Hornswoggle became such a popular character that he started to have his own stuff like outside of Finlay. One time, I believe he accidentally won the Cruiserweight Championship.
Goodness.
Yes. And
Cruiserweight.
That's right. And I recall that at one point at a pay-per-view, there was an all-dwarf battle royal.
Sweet.
Yeah. And I believe Hornswoggle won that.
Oh, okay.
So he was great. And Henry, at one point, okay, they were doing a storyline. It's, you know, wrestling's a soap opera. So they were doing a storyline, Henry, where Vince McMahon found out that one of the wrestlers on his roster was his biological son, his bastard son. Okay? And they were going to make the wrestler Mr. Kennedy, who was a thing at the time, he was going to turn out to be Vince McMahon's son. But then Mr. Kennedy got caught doing steroids in real life.
Uh-oh.
And got suspended and later kicked out of WWE.
Okay.
And so they had to pivot the storyline. And then
Sure.
it turned out that Hornswoggle was Mr. McMahon's son.
Wow. Wow. That's some good writing.
That is some great writing.
I'm not even lying.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's Hornswoggle. He's your Leprechaun. But and you know what? Hornswoggle didn't talk in wrestling either.
Oh.
But he was just like a fun presence. So that's what I was expecting. He'd just be like this weirdo running around. But in actuality, he's wearing a rubber mask. He just looks like King Koopa or something.
But yeah, I mean, he doesn't look like anything. He just looks like an alien.
He's just this like gray gargoyle.
Right. Yeah, that's a good call. Kind of like a gargoyle.
Yeah.
A gargoyle.
A gargoyle.
Yeah.
So, very, very Dan, Henry.
Yeah, I tried.
So Leprechaun Origins comes out August 22, 2014.
Who could forget
Who
that?
could forget it? I didn't know it happened.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Of
So,
course, I didn't know the last 6 happened either, so.
well, I did. I was aware of the Hood movies.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was aware of them. Yeah.
So, we have a new director, Zach Lipovsky.
Yeah.
He's had an interesting career, just directing video game adaptations. His most recent credit, it looks like, is a live-action adaptation of the Disney Channel cartoon Kim Possible.
I see that.
Yeah.
Oh.
You get it?
Kim Possible?
Yeah, it's like impossible.
I do. I think I've known that.
But her name is Kim, so
Right.
there you have it.
Yeah,
We
it's
should
a play
include
on
her
words.
in the superhero count, I would think.
like Jack Cock.
What is that?
If you were named Jack Hawk, Jack Cock.
I don't care for it.
Okay. I think we knew somebody who used to have a friend named Mike Hawk.
Well,
Remember that?
I knew a Mike Hunt.
Right. Alex Halajian knew a Mike Hawk.
Interesting.
Mike Hawk. Mike Cunt.
Oh God.
Yeah.
All right. So this has 2 writers, Henry. You've got your Harris Wilkinson, who's never done anything, and you've got your Scott Salter, who was a writer for the WCW back in the 90s.
Oh, not a good gig.
No. So he was writing a lot of Diamond Dallas Page storylines. Maybe a lot of Sting storylines. He's writing a lot for the NWO.
Maybe some Ric Flair backstory.
He might have been around, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, he's worked a lot since. Nothing of note. I've seen one of his movies, Henry.
Yeah.
You know I'm a shark aficionado.
Right.
So I've, of course, seen his film Jersey Shore Shark Attack.
Oh, all right.
In which, it's like a bunch of characters that are sort of like the guys from Jersey Shore, and there's a shark.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so
I'll put it on my queue.
no, I gotta tell you, Henry, if you want a movie like that, I would recommend a different one called Spring Break Shark Attack. That's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're making a note.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Next up, Hank, we've got our lists for 2014. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess we could go right to that, sure, before we get into the grime and grit of County Kerry.
Yeah, it's a very interesting film, but I very quickly made this list prior to recording, so let's do it.
Yeah, we skipped 2014 when we did The Equalizer because Dan wasn't prepared. So now,
and I again wasn't prepared, but we decided to do it.
We forged ahead. 2014 top 10.
Yes.
Would you like to start, or would you like me to start?
I would like you to start.
Number 10, Interstellar.
Sure. It's a Nolan movie. Some stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd watch it again.
Me too, actually. It's kind of interesting. It's too long. My number 10 is, speaking of too long, Henry, I've been waiting for an opportunity to talk about this.
Ooh.
I saw a movie that made me so angry yesterday.
Okay.
I saw Aquaman.
You saw Aquaman.
I watched Aquaman.
I'm surprised.
Why?
Sort of.
It's a big
I don't know.
superhero movie. It's DC. I like Aquaman as a character. But like, all right, so I tuned in. I was like, all right, I'm at home. It's a Saturday.
Yeah.
It's my Sunday because I start work on Sundays.
Right. All right. Well, I get it. You had it for free at home. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't
Yeah,
think I'd
I
do
got
it,
a
but
rip
go ahead.
of the IMAX release.
Okay.
All right. And I tuned into this baby.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to this.
This is one of the worst movies ever made. These fucking people out there that thought that, oh, it's fun and wacky. Shut the
Right.
fuck up. First of all, it is just fucking Xbox 360 cutscene, the movie.
Really?
Yeah. Everything's a cartoon. All right?
Sure.
You got Jason Momoa, who is charismatic but can't act. I'll at least give him charismatic. He's a step over
Interesting.
Henry Cavill. But
Whoa. All right.
but then you've got Amber Heard, who is not charismatic, very beautiful, can't act.
Okay.
All right? So you just got a bunch of people in this movie. You got charisma vacuum Patrick Wilson.
Right.
I mean, I like him in some things, but not when he has to deliver lines like, call me the Ocean Master.
Right.
All right? And they're just like floating around this movie. It's just a series
Literally.
yeah, seriously. It's just a series of like MacGuffins and, hey, I have to find this thing. Then I have to go get this scepter. And then I have to fight this fish voiced by Julie Andrews. And
How's Nicki Kidman?
I mean, miscast, but I gotta tell you, Aquaman's parents were the best part of the movie.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We always have fun with the DC parents. Who's the dad?
I don't know. It's a guy you've seen and shit, and he's a good actor. You know who I think he is? He might be Django Fett.
Yes, he is. You're right. I didn't look that up, but you're right. I remember that. Yep.
Anyway, they have chemistry, and they have a heartwarming little love story. But these action sequences are just video game fucking cartoon bullshit. It's 2.5 hours long.
Wow.
And
I didn't know it was that long.
yeah, and the music sucks, and Momoa's just this fucking tatted up fish bro, and
Right.
he has horrible one-liners. The movie's not funny. It never has any stakes. The villains suck. You know, Black Manta shows up for a second. It's a good costume design, but they just threw him in there because he's a good costume design. The villain of the movie is Patrick Wilson as the Ocean Master.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it is a brutal movie to sit through.
I'm gonna continue to pass unless we're forced for some reason.
I
to cover it.
can't understand why anyone would like it. I really can't. Like, reputable critics gave that movie good reviews.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was not the worst reviewed. Now, key question: worse than, in your opinion, worse than Justice League?
No.
Ooh. Better than Man of Steel?
No.
Okay.
No, they're all bad, these DC movies. You know what I'll
Right.
say? You know what I'll say this movie is exactly as good as, Henry?
What?
Green Lantern. The Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern.
Oh.
That's how
That
good
was-
this
that was
movie is.
That was pretty bad.
I know.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Interesting.
But that's what it
Wow.
reminded me of, because it's just like I'm watching a fucking cartoon. The lead guy's quipping. He's kind of a douche. And the lead actress I can't act, I think. Who played the lead in Green Lantern? Oh, it's Blake Lively, who I love, but she's just like has nothing to do in that movie.
No, well, the whole movie's just kind of a nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so number 10 is the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Wait, what made you? I don't understand the pivot.
I mentioned Interstellar was too long, and
that's it.
Yep. Wow. That's it. Just gave me horrible like death flashbacks to watching Aquaman yesterday.
All right.
I still haven't gotten over it.
I understand. That's time taken.
Oh, just time ripped from my day, ripped from my life.
That's your weekend, man.
Like,
those are
fuck
those
you,
are precious.
Aquaman.
Yeah. All right. Well, my number 9 is Inherent Vice.
All right. Yeah, I don't like that movie. My number 9.
I do.
Yeah, my number 9 is Edge of Tomorrow.
That's a good movie. I like that a lot. My number 8 is The Babadook.
Yep, good movie. My number 8 is Joe Swanberg's Happy Christmas.
Yes,
which, by the way, is like an hour and 25 minutes and uses every moment wisely.
Yeah, I think The Babadook's a real short one, too.
That's what you want.
Yeah, definitely. My number 7...
Interstellar. Hey, I'll give Interstellar this. Interstellar earns that length way more than Aquaman does.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of... Agreed. Number 7, a little scene movie where if Dan was interested in seeing Tom Hardy without makeup or a mask, The Drop.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
James Gandolfini, I believe his last performance, and
I believe his last performance was Enough Said, if I'm not mistaken.
Everybody keeps saying this was his last, but I don't know what his actual last performance was. You could be right. But also co-starring my girlfriend, on and off girlfriend, Numi Rapace.
Sure.
I really like The Drop a lot. It's a great movie. Okay, what's your number 7?
Nightcrawler.
Whoa.
Which brings me to another movie I watched yesterday.
Yeah.
Velvet Buzzsaw.
I was vacillating on whether to watch that or not.
Henry, you love Nightcrawler.
I do. What I read about Velvet Buzzsaw, it just did not look something that would appeal to me. I will totally go on your wreck here.
I'm gonna say that this guy Gilroy is 3 for 3, and I'll say that neither of his second or third movies match how good Nightcrawler was. They're like a far cry from that, but they're totally good, watchable movies. This and
now, which Gilroy are we talking about?
This is Dan Gilroy.
Yeah, because you don't like the other one.
Tony Gilroy, not really. Dan Gilroy had been around as a writer for a long time, but he made his directorial debut with Nightcrawler, and since has made Roman J. Israel and Velvet Buzzsaw.
So Velvet Buzzsaw, check it out.
So check it out. I wasn't that into the third act, but I was kind of into it up till then.
All right.
Gyllenhaal's great, and Rene Russo, too.
Right, the same crew there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I lost on number 7. Did you say it or not
It's
yet?
Nightcrawler.
Right. Number 6 for me, Whiplash.
My number 6 is Snowpiercer.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked Snowpiercer.
I loved it.
I don't know about putting it on there, but all right. And here we come.
Heavy hitters. These are the grand slams, the slap shots, the three-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck gets close to the circle. These are the heavy hitters of the franchise. Heavy hitters.
Here's a movie you definitely didn't see, but a rare gem in a sea of trash about movies about artists, and that is
You cut out. What was the movie?
Mr. Turner.
Oh, I didn't. That's a Mike Lee movie, right?
Yeah, and I love Turner, and it's a great, great, great movie. Mr.
I would
Turner.
see it from Mike Lee, but I skipped that one at the time. Who's in it? Jim Broadbent?
I don't remember. He may turn up, but it's Timothy Spall.
Yeah.
is Turner.
Timothy Spall. Mike Lee always casting the sexiest actors.
That's what he goes for. Yeah.
My number 5 is Gone Girl.
Ooh, lower than I'd think. All right. My number 4, dropping 3 spots. No, 2 spots, is Birdman.
Full title, please.
Unexpected virtue of the ignorance.
Thank you. My fuck that movie.
Who could care?
My number 4 is The One I Love.
Oh, yes. Didn't see it. My number 3 is a movie that has only grown on me over time. A movie you just I think is mediocre. That is A Most Wanted Man.
Not mediocre necessarily, but just like solid.
Yeah, love PSH in that film.
Of course,
One of his
great.
last songs. Yeah.
I think his last. I think that's the reason I saw it.
He was in something called God's Pocket, which might have been his very, very last.
Who could care?
I saw it.
My number 3 is It Follows.
Good movie. My number 2 is Gone Girl.
Love it. My number 2 is Whiplash.
All right. And the number 1 movie of 2014, Nightcrawler.
Right. Okay. Well, I feel very strongly about my number 1, but I knew it wasn't going to make your list. And that, of course, is the best movie of 2014, bar none, Boyhood.
Oh, yeah, nowhere close. I have 10 honorable mentions, and that's not one of them.
Okay. How'd you feel about Lepo Origins, Henry?
Well, it was the best Leprechaun movie.
Oh, I think you're a nut.
I'll tell you that.
I'm very excited for this hot take. So Leprechaun Origins.
Alert! It's too.
What?
I'm sorry, I lost you.
Yeah. Well, I think this is. I gotta tell you, Henry. I think it's my fault this week. I'm not getting great internet tonight.
Oh, that's refreshing to hear.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Lep-O I was so relieved to get out of the universe that we had been inhabiting for so long.
You mean the hood?
It's the whole Warwick Davis-ism thing, and this one was more like I had thought the very first one was going to be, and this is not a good movie, folks.
I would say it's a bad movie.
Yeah, I would say that too, but it's the best Leprechaun movie we've covered.
I would argue this is one of the worst Leprechaun movies.
Okay, I mean, it's a strange position for me to be in here because if someone were to ask me which Leprechaun movies to see, they're not going to be asking me to see Leprechaun Origins. It's implicit that they're not in the question. They won't be wanting me to say this. So I would choose, the best Warwicks. But for me personally, I thought it was the best one. It was the best done. There were maybe half a moment of suspense.
I'll tell you what I liked about it.
One good performance, and
well, I'm excited to find out which performance you thought was good.
Yeah, it was just.
I would argue there, and I hated this. I would argue there's more than one good performance. I would argue the casting in this movie is not the problem remotely.
No, it's not. I mean, the teenagers are take them or leave them.
But there's some legit teens. I recognized not one but two of the teens.
I recognized one. I definitely knew the one guy.
Yeah, that guy's been in everything. I know who you're talking about. Brendan Fletcher.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, he was in fucking Freddy vs. Jason.
Right. That's correct. Yeah. But well, why don't you give us a little?
I'd love to, Henry. We've got two couples. I don't believe they're teens. I think they're maybe in college or
well, we have a little prologue first.
Do we?
Yeah, the two people running through the woods.
Right.
Running for the obelisk.
Oh yeah. The obelisk. It really is. It's like Stonehenge or something.
Yeah, Stonehenge.
In the
Yeah.
middle of Ireland, this like small town. It's like a field. There's a lot of like rolling fields in this movie, which was kind of nice.
Well, I think that's what gave the movie a better review for me before it even started. Was at least I got to see some of the nice, beautiful Irish countryside.
Yeah, it looked like a movie.
You know.
Yeah. So then we get two couples, right?
Yeah.
And there's the sort of milk toast couple, and then there's the Wilder couple. But
Yeah.
I was disappointed in the Wilder couple because usually in these slasher movies, the Wilder couple's going nuts and like fucking smoking and doing drugs and like smacking each other around.
Right.
And like just fucking, just getting their fuck on. But not this
Right.
couple. They're just sort of like, we drink a little more than the other couple.
Yeah. We have a few more pints, and
Yeah.
we don't get naked.
Yeah, and maybe we swear more.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. There's not a big dichotomy between the twain.
So that couple was Brendan Fletcher, who's a dude you've seen in 1,000 things. And he's like, probably playing like a 21-year-old, but he's like brushing his hair forward to cover his receding hairline. And then you've got Melissa Roxburgh is his girlfriend, who can currently be seen on the hit NBC show Manifest.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched the first, like, maybe 6 episodes of that,
Okay.
and it's pretty bad, but it is a hit, undeniably a hit show, and she's
Yeah.
like the lead female on it.
Like Aquaman.
She's better than Amber Heard.
So it's a hit, but no, I mean it's a hit.
But it
good.
sucks, yeah. Okay, then you've got the milk toast couple, Hank, and you got the fella Andrew Dunbar, who is my LVP. He's got no personality whatsoever. This fucking guy, he is a drip and a half.
Yeah, I believe he was going to be my LVP as well.
Okay.
Yeah, he is. He is. I wrote his character name wrong. I wrote David, but David's the Brendan Fletcher. So it's the other kid, whatever his name
It's
is.
David and Jenny and Ben and Sophie. Those are the two couples. So Sophie is Stephanie Bennett, and she's very clearly the final girl. She's very prim and proper, and like she's a history major. Like she's there in Ireland not to like get wasted. She's like, I want to study the rolling hills. What happened in the history of these rolling hills?
Yes.
And she's also the worst thing we see her do in the entire movie is like she shows her boyfriend her bra.
Yeah, he's not interested.
Well, they're
at
having
all.
like a weird thing in their relationship, right? They're at a bit of a crossroads.
It's really funny because
Speaking
it's
of
like,
movies I watched yesterday, Crossroads with Britney Spears. I swear to God, I watched that yesterday.
boy, what a brutal day of cinema.
What a weird day. Yeah.
My goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ben is not interested in what Sophie's showing. They have a weird discussion in the bar about how she may follow him to, I believe he's going to Harvard or the East Coast, something he wouldn't probably actually get into unless he had a celebrity parent.
I want to say it might be the reverse. He's going West Coast.
I think No, because she's going to Berkeley, and then she goes, but I figure I'll check out the East Coast.
Henry, you're right. Fucking Leprechaun Origins fan number one here does remember the deets.
And the friends are like really oddly bummed out. They're like, why would you got to pursue your dreams. Pursue your dreams.
Well,
Sophie.
they're supportive friends of Sophie, and this Ben Drip is dragging her down.
He does not want her coming with him. He does not want to have sexual relations with her. I don't really get what he's even in it for. He doesn't want to go on the trip.
There's no sex in this movie because even the Wild couple, they start to have sex, and what's her face from Manifest gets on top, and Brendan Fletcher falls asleep, beer in hand, and I believe it's a Guinness.
She's had a few too many pints.
Yeah, and she just like pops right off of him. And
Yeah, she's not happy.
that was kind of a cute scene.
It's cute.
But anyway, so
Adorable.
they're at a bar. They go to this town. The driver takes them as far as this obelisk, and then he's like, "You've got to drive the rest of the way. I mean, you've got to walk the rest of the way."
No, I don't think I can take it a rest. Can't take it the rest of the way. You got to walk. It's about 7 miles. No, he says like 14 miles. It's like really far.
Yeah, but they
I'd be
do
like,
it.
fuck this. I'll get back in the truck. Let's
I'd
go
be
back.
afraid of ticks.
Public.
That grass was high.
I would not be interested in that scenario at all.
Nor
Yeah.
would I. But they do it. They walk, and they find this pub, and the barmaiden is like a nice older lady. And then they meet this fellow who's sort of like an old guy. He's like an Irish Stacy Keach.
Hamish.
Hamish, of course that's his name.
Hamish is my MVP.
He's my MVP too. And I was hoping this
Oh.
is who you meant when you were saying a genuinely good performance, because I really do think this Gary Chalk is his name.
Yeah.
He kind of creates a character here. Like, his story is the one I want to follow.
Yeah, I'd rather just drop them off at the doomed lodge and follow him back to the bar.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. So he tells them a story that you're a history major, huh? There's some great history in them thar hills. And
Yeah.
so he calls his son, what's his name?
Sean.
Sean, of course. It's the most obvious names.
Of course.
So Sean's got this pickup truck, and he's going to take them to a cabin to stay overnight. And
Was there a little joke because I think Jenny says, "Oh, a cabin in the woods sounds great." Is that a little nod for our good movie, Cabin in the Woods?
I mean, it's possible. I did hear her say that, but I don't know.
I know it's a generic thing to say, but it came on the heels like a couple years after Cabin in the Woods. So I thought
That's
maybe.
true, Henry. Henry, good eye. Good eye
Thanks.
over there.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, I was wrapped.
You were. Well, I'll tell you what. It's easy to watch this whole movie without getting super bored, and I'll tell you why. If you take out the opening and closing credits of this movie, I think it's 65 minutes long.
Yeah, well, I always.
Did you catch the fucking closing credits of this movie, Henry?
No, I mean it faded out and went to credits. and
This
then
movie goes to closing credits. This is a 90-minute movie, all right? So I'm primed for a 90-minute movie. And then it just ends an hour and 17 minutes in.
Well,
and they just stretch out these closing credits for 12 minutes.
Wow. Yeah. I've been meaning to ask you this for like 3 years. When you always say that a movie's a certain length, I mean, don't you, when you actually watch it, aren't you aware that like 5 minutes are not going to count? I mean, that always props me up and gets me happy.
I'm aware of that, but it really depends on the movie, because like old movies, they sometimes don't even have closing credits.
That is correct, but for the majority of things we do on the show, you can chop 5, 6, even 6 minutes off of an average.
I
credit
know, but if a movie's going to be ridiculously long, it's going to feel ridiculous. Listen, they just announced the runtime of Avengers Endgame, Henry.
Yeah.
You ready
I'm
for this?
excited.
You ready for this? Do you know this
I
yet?
don't care. No, but can I guess?
Sure.
2 hours and 40 minutes.
Guess again.
No way. 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Guess again.
This movie, it's not going to be 3 hours.
Henry, Avengers Endgame is 3 hours and 2 minutes long.
No way!
Yes.
Oh my god! Wow. Whoa.
Yeah. So, I mean, sure. Maybe it'll have a 10-minute closing credit sequence. It's still going to be fucking 2 hours and 50 minutes.
God. Wow.
Yeah.
Whew.
Amazing stuff.
Wow, those Russo brothers are just like, fuck you. We are doing
Well, I think it's
whatever
Marvel. I think it's Marvel at this point. They're like, this is our biggest movie yet. We have hit after hit after hit. We had the big cliffhanger in Infinity War, which has stayed a part of the zeitgeist all this time. Like, people still talk about like Thanos, whatever. and
Yeah.
fucking they just know these people are gonna see it.
I don't care, man. 3 hours for that is fine with me.
Okay, Henry.
You won't care either.
Probably not when I'm there, to be honest, but who knows? I mean, maybe. Well, you know what? The good thing with that is like there's so many characters to cover. Aquaman,
Right.
you're just spending 2.5 hours with this Aquaman guy.
It's a long time with him. Yes. It's
Yeah.
a long time for anyone to hold their breath. Am I right?
It is. It is. So they go to this cabin.
Yeah.
They stay overnight. Shenanigans ensue. Oh, before they get into the cabin, there's something in the brush outside, and Hamish shoots at it a few times, and you're like, "What's
Wild
that?"
boar. Yeah.
It's a wild
Yeah.
boar, right? But it's probably the lep.
I believe it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So
They're locked in.
they are locked in. They realize because they hear something outside, and one of them's like, I got to check that out. And they're like, don't go outside. What the fuck's wrong with you? And he's
Right.
like, I'm going. And he tries to get out, but no, they're locked in Henry. So the leprechaun comes in through the wind. What is it called?
Fire
chimney. Sure.
Yeah. Fire escape. Fireplace. Yeah.
So he comes in. You've got the chick from Manifest. You know, she's leaning on the fireplace
Right.
conveniently.
Absolutely.
And he comes in. She's got a gold earring, Henry.
Uh-oh.
Rips it out of her ear.
Yeah.
Then a
Yeah.
little bit later, he rips the tongue ring out. That was a pretty good moment.
Yeah, I thought that would be more gruesome. He
rips
very
it out
careful.
pretty cleanly. Yeah, just
Very
sort of
clean,
gives her
very
a snake
careful.
tongue.
Yeah, I'd like to have that, please, with his fingers and pulls it out almost upright. And yeah.
Well,
It's
he's
a
sort
strange-
of like you know those like jewelry guys in like Antiques Roadshow that have like the little eyeglass and they're examining the thing.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
maybe the leprechaun's like that. He really respects gold.
Well, he does look like he has a little case of myopia with his gray eyes. So
It's gray. Everything is just gray with this guy.
very gray. He's very gray. We get to see him
He
predator
looks like one
style,
of those
skiing style.
you know, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame's friends, those gargoyles.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Fucking weird reference. That I thought of the Predator because we get to see his vantage point.
That drove me nuts. Why does the leprechaun see in infrared?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we do get some lep vision in this
Yeah,
movie.
I mean, you would think at least he'd see in gold.
Oh,
you know,
good
like
call,
gold.
Hank. Or maybe he sees in black and white, but only the gold is in color. That would be good.
That'd be great. And we should say that the reason this is happening is because years? This was a little vague, or I wasn't paying attention. There
are holes. I would argue there are holes in the story.
I would go along with the argue there. Yeah, I would go along there. The village has mined the leprechaun's cave and stolen all of his gold, and in order to make it up to him, they must sacrifice gold and humans to him.
That's right. That's right. So they're sacrificing outsiders to the neighborhood, to this fella. They're sort of going for like a Wicker Man vibe, where it's like only we can be the things here, and everyone who comes in from the outside world has to be killed, and they get sacrificed to the Lep, and the whole town's aware of it. It seems because we see the barmaid helping them out. And but then at one point, Sean, who at first is working for his dad and then has a crisis of conscience about it.
Yeah.
He just back and forth all fucking movie, just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you people. No, I'm gonna help you escape.
That's not right, da.
He has like
right.
he has a heel turn and like a babyface turn like 3 or 4 times in this movie. It really, I mean, it makes sense that the WWE produced this thing.
There you go. Yeah, a lot of heel turns. I did like the touch that Hamish does. You know, it does show that he at least wants to try to anesthetize these poor kids, because as he's leaving them and saying, "Do you have a good night now? Here you go," and he gives them a 6-pack.
He
And
does.
that was a
I
nice
actually
touch.
appreciated that too. Yeah.
Very nice, and then Fletcher offers him some money, or the other kid does, and he goes, "No, no, no, no." And I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
At least dull their senses before they have their spines ripped out.
Oh my
A la
God, that
Predator.
dude Ben gets his spine ripped out.
I think there's some Predator stuff going on here we're discovering in our discussion.
Well, there's also I think a lot of Troll 2 in there.
Oh, please do. Go ahead.
I just think that the town reminded me of Nilbog. Like, there's only like 4 people that live there. They're sacrificing shit to the overseer, the leprechaun.
Yeah.
And
Have you ever wondered how in these small towns, I mean, this isn't even a town, right? It's like a road and a building. Where do they?
It's a road.
It's. I saw a preview for that yesterday.
I did too.
Where do they get everything? Like, where do they have such an? They have an unlimited supply of Guinness and whiskey. Like, where is
Amazon?
Hey, Patty, we're out of Guinness.
That they just keep fucking killing these delivery guys.
Right. Let's pull out the Amazon app. We got to order some more McClellan and Jameson and Guinness.
You know they only deliver as far as the obelisk these days.
Some poor bastard has to cart that shit 14 miles. Oh.
Amazing.
Anyway.
So Sean brings up, like, so why don't you guys just move? Like, if you move,
Good point.
you don't have to sacrifice people to the leprechaun. We never get a really good answer to that.
It's kind of the same reason a lot of people never leave their hometown.
It's home.
It's home. Why should we leave? Which is like the answer would be easy enough in that scenario. It'd be like, because there's a fucking murderous ghoul running around every year trying to kill everybody. And maybe that would be a good reason. Since he clearly doesn't leave that area.
No, he just hangs out in the brush.
And it doesn't seem to be supernatural, really. Too much. I mean,
also, the leprechaun doesn't talk, Henry. How did they come up with this deal?
Idea. I mean, good point. Yeah, I don't know who bartered this.
Yeah, exactly. It's what the Hamish was just like in a stare down with the leprechaun. I know what you want. Human sacrifice, huh? And he's
all right. I'll give you 2 a year, and you'll leave in townsfolk alone. Sound all right?
He he walked away. I guess that's a deal.
That was Leprechaunese for I. Yeah. All right. You're right. Yeah. I mean, they just worked it out, and I don't know, but yeah, Sean has a lot of good points here. And he gives it to old Hamish at the end there.
He does, and
it's really a chase movie, right? From then on out.
Well, it's like any of the Leprechaun movies, where the third act, or even the second and third act, they're just running away from a thing.
Right. I mean, this is much more of like a slashery type thing.
It is. This is like very much. It felt to me like a Platinum Dunes kind of a slasher movie, like late 2000s, fucking trying to ape the 80s feeling. It reminded me of like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake or something.
Okay, all right. I thought you were gonna. Yeah, did you see the movie with Zoe? What's her name? Zoe Kazan.
Yeah.
Called The Monster.
Nope.
Excellent horror movie.
I saw a movie called The Monster once, starring Roberto Benigni.
That was probably equally scary, but no, The Monster, I believe it's 2015, an excellent movie. I thought of it because it's just her, and you'd like it, brother.
She gets on my nerves, man.
Oh, okay.
I don't care for her.
Oh, all right. I was just going to say it's her and her daughter trapped in a car with a monster circling around them for like it's a trapped in a car.
Hang on. You have me.
Yeah, I knew I did. Very good movie. And the monster kind of resembles the Lep in this movie, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see it here. I remember when this movie came out. Didn't the director get signed on to do something big after this?
He might have. I'd have to look. Who is
it?
It's
the guy that did The Strangers, dude.
Yeah, what's his name?
Brian Bertino.
Okay. Well,
No,
it's
he
very
didn't. He's just working on his own shit. I kind of dig that.
All
All right. Listen. Hey, by the way, underrated, Henry?
Yeah.
I'll throw something out there. That
Huh.
sequel to The Strangers?
Is it The Strangers 2?
It's The Strangers Pray at Night.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was
I
pretty fun, man.
didn't see it. All right.
All right. Henry.
Yeah.
So at the end of the movie, the final girl gets to kill the leprechaun. She says, "Fuck you, Lucky Charms," which I think is a
Right.
line we've heard already in this franchise.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Little throwback. She distracts the leprechaun by throwing the gold pieces up in the air and decapitating it with the sword or machete left by the opening scene couple.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Neither did I until I read the plot
Oh,
summary.
very good, Henry.
I didn't know. I thought it was her weapon, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, no, it wasn't." Yeah, all tied to the trees. I thought that was kind of cool.
Who was tied to the trees? You broke up.
The 4 teens when they were tied to the trees by Hamish and the old
Oh, that was
barmaid.
all right. Yeah, they got taken into the woods by Hamish and shit. I mean,
you call this movie something else, and you got a low budget.
it was just
Tubi movie.
barely a movie, man.
Right. I mean, you got one of the thousands of horror movies.
Right.
on Tubi.
No, I hear what you're saying. You're absolutely right. If this movie was just like its own thing,
Brush monster,
yeah, right, exactly. Gargoyle.
the brush.
Yeah, the brush. Not bad, Henry. Let's make that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're looking at a decent B thing here, but they throw Leprechaun on there. I mean, but Hamish is good.
Hamish is the MVP. Ben is the LVP. I give it a 1. How about you?
Agreed on MVP. LVP, I'm going to break precedent here with my 6 other reviews, and I'm going to go with a full-on 2-star.
Oh, look at you. What a fan here.
Yeah.
All right, Henry, listen.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap up the Leprechaun coverage for now.
We've come to the end of the rainbow.
Did you just come up with that?
I did. I don't know, man. It's just, the Irish in me. It's
You're
just
on fire, Henry. You are on fire. If you were playing NBA Jam right now, you would be running very fast and your shoes would be flashing.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, I know what that means. All right.
So let's rank the 7 Leprechaun movies we were able to watch.
All right. You want to go worst to best?
Yes.
All right. The worst Leprechaun movie for me was Leprechaun 4, Lost in Space.
Just in space.
Okay.
I am also going with the space film.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. All right. You're going to have to help me with the titles. But,
Number 6.
The 6th worst is Leprechaun 6.
And that was Back to the Hood.
Yeah, but didn't I say I like that better than the...
Yes, you did.
And forget that. Then it's 5.
Leprechaun in the Hood.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 6 is Leprechaun Origins.
Oh, so not fair. All right. The 5th worst or
Fifth best.
is Leprechaun 5.
You already said that one.
No, I was. Oh, right. Sorry. Back to the Hood.
Okay, you flipped them.
Damn it. Yeah.
All right, my number 5 is Leprechaun. Just the first one.
Mine is Leprechaun 2.
Okay. Our lists are very different, Henry.
Yeah, they are.
What's your number 4?
Well, what's yours?
Oh, well, did you just say yours?
Yeah, Leprechaun 2.
Wait, what's your list so far? Space at 7.
Yeah. Then in
Hood
the Hood
at 6. Back to the Hood at 5. 2 at 4?
Correct.
Okay, my number 4 is Leprechaun 3, the Vegas one.
Okay. All right. All right. My number 3 is the first Leprechaun.
Okay, my number 3 is Leprechaun Back to the Hood.
There you go. Now we're talking. And the second best Leprechaun movie is Leprechaun in Vegas.
Okay, I can't argue with that. I went with Leprechaun 2, the one where they're riding around in that hearse.
That's right. That's right. That's right. All right, and the best Leprechaun movie is Leprechaun Origins.
And I went with the first Hood.
I figured you would.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right, I'm happy to be on the other side of this.
Woo! What a trek. Wow.
Oh,
All right.
boy. All right, Hank. Let's
Yeah.
talk about a new franchise.
A new franchise.
We're starting a new franchise, baby.
Yeah. Splitting it in half this week.
Oh,
Out with the old, in with the new.
I feel like I've just, like, a weight is off my shoulders.
Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a medallion with a ruby in it. It's been taken off.
Stop.
your
I don't even
shoulders.
want to make any more references.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing. All right.
All right. Men in Black, Henry.
I know you're excited.
All right. This was based on a little...
Oh, I'm sorry. We forgot.
Superhero count. Go ahead.
Yeah. I spend way too much time on this shit to not do it. Otherwise, I'd gladly skip it. All right. Here we go. All righty. There are 4. Melissa Roxburgh.
From Manifest.
Yeah, well, she plays Betty Seaver in a show called Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, I've probably seen her on that show. Didn't know it was her because it was before Manifest.
There you go. Brendan Fletcher was in an episode of Smallville playing Parasite.
That's a major villain.
I know. And in Arrow, he plays Star City Slayer.
Oh, that was like a little storyline for a while. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's had some stuff.
Thriller or something, or what?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Yeah. The girl in the beginning of Leprechaun who's running through the woods is named Catherine. The actress is Amelie Ullerup, and she was in an episode of Smallville as well. Interestingly enough, her character in Smallville was named Catherine, and the character in Leprechaun Origins was named Catherine.
Was that interesting?
No. Number 4.
Henry, did they shoot Leprechaun Origins in Canada? That's an important
I-
question
I-
I have for you.
Yeah, because the director's from Vancouver.
There you go. There you go.
There's a lot of just Canadian connections going on.
That's right. Smallville cast. That's a big tell for me.
Yeah, and lastly, but definitely not leastly, Gary Chalk, who played Hamish, did tons of voice work, too many to name, but of the live action things, he was also in Arrow, playing General J.G. Walker. He was in the Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. show.
With David Hasselhoff?
Yeah, playing Dum Dum Dugan.
Oh, that sounds good, man. That's a major character.
Yeah, yeah. And in You and I, our favorite superhero movie of all time, Watchmen by Z. Snyder, he played a military general.
Now, Henry, I went through some of this cast, and I remember noticing someone played our favorite villain, Firefly, in something. So you missed that.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Firefly, the Batman villain?
Yeah. I think on an episode of Arrow or something.
Oh, my bad. Wasn't popular enough to earn a Wikipedia page.
Well,
Let's put it
maybe you
that
should
way.
look on IMDb.